A failed Republican congressional candidate has admitted to making up a story about child sex trafficking to help his campaign. So, first, I remember doing this story a while back, and well, now we have this person, Ryan Darkwhite. I'm not kidding, that's his name, who ran a Senate bid in Maryland under a different name, John McGreevey. John McGreevey, Ryan Darkwhite, whatever you want to call him, also referred to himself as the Patriot Whistleblower. So he's got a lot of different names. All right. Now he claimed that he had witnessed in a adult bookstore despicable acts of child abuse and exploitation, and again, it turns out that no, that was not true at all. Now, this got the attention, however, these claims of QAnon and other right-wing figures who claim, constantly that there is a massive pedophile ring in this country driven by Democrats and the left. Maybe you want to actually check in the churches, that's where, and in the right, Republican Party, because that seems to be where a lot of the pedophiles are. Not all of them, but a great majority of them. So now it's funny because some of his allegations also included Mike Pence.
Mike Pounds.
Exactly. And Chief Justice John Roberts, who were apparently in on the massive child sex exploitation ring. Those men, notorious lefties, I hear. But he admitted it, that it was a lie. I know.
Oh my God! He admitted!
On April 9th, 2022, writes Darkwhite, I went to work at the Mistress. When I arrived at work, I noticed a young girl and an elderly male in the store near the ATM. I immediately recognized this as an opportunity to potentially obtain traction for my political career as I was running for U.S. Senate. The apology goes on to note that he distributed pictures of the child to his followers, falsely claiming that this child was being trafficked. It turns out, no, it wasn't true. Following an investigation, which police, again, used taxpayer money to run down this claim, police said they tracked down the man who had entered the store with the girl and confirmed that he had just entered to use the ATM. That's it. Oops. Though he did not mention it in his apology, Ryan Darkwhite also made videos claiming to have seen the child half nude and that she had been forced into sex acts with adults in the back of the store. Again, that was not true at all. You're just making up spurious allegations against someone and distributing, pictures of this girl to your followers so that people will attack people who allegedly, abused her. So using her as a political pawn, all for your failed Senate candidacy. It's just gross on gross. Now, he was eventually charged last July with filing false police reports, but rather than confess at the time, White doubled down. In fact, he claimed the charges were part of a deep state effort to silence him and upend his congressional campaign. Not true. In a July 18th video, White claimed to have been working undercover as John McGreevey at the adult bookstore. He denied having filed a false report because the complaint emerged after he told the trafficking story to other people who took it seriously and raised alarm. He said, "Now, how is that me filing a false police report? Didn't happen. One lie after another. The continued insinuation that I'm using this for political gain, pathetic." But you are actually using this political campaign, as part of your political campaign for political gain. That's exactly what you were doing, and later on, you go and admit it. Now, after the charges, Walt falsely accused the arresting officer of consorting with a sex trafficker. Quote, I also posted photographs of him and his wife on my Truth Social account to have my follower base harass him, White admitted in his apology. So, now look, how dangerous is that? we know the right wing has people there who are itching to do violence. They can't wait to do violence. They're doing violence all the time. Again, in 2022, white supremacist violence caused the death of 77 people. How many people did Antifa or BLM or left-wing violence kill in 2022? None. Zero. So they're the violent ones. Oh, and what happens when you take a group of people that are seemingly predisposed to doing violence against people, right? And you take that mob and you point at them and you say, this guy's a pedo, without any evidence of that. Well, you're going to destroy that person's life. You're going to invite violence on them. That's what's going to happen. White's claims of being an undercover porn store investigator came more than a year after he positioned himself as a whistleblower in conspiracy circles. In January 2021, he gave a deposition to pro-Trump lawyer Lynn Wood, claiming without evidence that Vice President Mike Pence and Chief Justice John Roberts had also been involved in a sex trafficking ring. Again, not true. Not a fan of Mike Pence, not a fan of John Roberts, but that's just not true. You just can't make things up about people. Now, soon after the deposition, Wood appeared to refer to it in court filings in which Wood argued that he should not be punished for social media posts implying that Roberts was a sex trafficker, which is, again, defamation, libel, slander, whatever you want to call it. Court records show that White pleaded guilty to drug charges in 2010 and to healthcare fraud and possession of ammunition by a prohibited person in 2016. So that just shows he had a history of, doing some very bad things, very naughty things. In a statement on White's apology this week, Harford County, Maryland Sheriff Jeff Gawler said that prosecutors seldom pursue charges of finding false police reports. However, in this case, he said, when such serious allegations are levied and a tremendous amount of law enforcement man-hours are put into investigating the allegations, protests were organized against the business, and many members of our community were, and sheriff's office were professionally and personally attacked and demeaned. It was imperative that Mr. White be held responsible for his purposeful actions and his wildly false claims and accusations. So, there are a couple of things about this. The first thing that I noticed is, the cops took action because it targeted cops. Keeping it real. That's part of it. Because generally, we've seen a lot of law enforcement on the side of these weirdo right-wingers. Yeah, this time it affected them. But at least we did get the investigation that found out that, and the eventual admission that Dark White was lying. That he's a liar, that he was making up this, QAnon-style sex trafficking ring allegations in order to help himself in his political career, which thankfully didn't work. But there are enough Republicans out there that buy into this. There are enough right-wingers out there that buy into this, QAnon absolute and utter nonsense. And that is an incredibly dangerous thing.